Hello everyone, this is the Douglas27. We are all aware of Destiny 2's imminent release, and the hype is slowly building up within the Destiny community and the gaming community as a whole. Destiny 2 will be fixing the problems of the first game to make a sequel that is better in every aspect, right? From what we've seen so far, Destiny 2 has better storytelling, larger and more populated worlds, and a more competitive and balanced crucible than Destiny 1. However, if you have been following the game closely, you will have seen several troubling, if minor in some cases, issues arising. Such things as the fact that Rumble, or Free-for-All for those who haven't played much Destiny 1, isn't returning, there will be no ranked play in the Crucible at launch, and private matches will not be in the game at launch. These issues are reminding me of another fairly recent game, Halo 5 Guardians. Let's explore these issues a bit deeper and ask the question, will Destiny 2 be the next Halo 5? First, let's take a look at how the Crucible is being reworked for Destiny 2. All game modes will be 4v4, and I can think of one major positive that this brings up. With all game modes being 4v4, then all maps will be balanced for the same amount of players. In Destiny 1, some maps felt as though they worked better for 3v3 modes, while some maps worked better for 6v6. So, all modes being 4v4 is definitely a positive as far as map design is concerned. However, this does not excuse the absence of Rumble. I think this segues perfectly into a comparison to Halo 5. At Halo 5's launch, Big Team Battle was not in the game. Warzone was meant to be a replacement for Big Team Battle, and all of Halo 5's Arena multiplayer was meant to be 4v4 competitive. In fact, Arena didn't even have any unranked playlists at Halo 5's launch. This mirrors how Destiny 2 is attempting to unify all Crucible play into tight competitive matches, but the Crucible requires more variety than that. In Destiny 1, Rumble can be quite a nice change of pace after matches in Clash or other team-oriented game modes where you have bad teammates and end up getting destroyed. But without that in Destiny 2, the Crucible will lose a large amount of variety, and with it, replayability. For my next point, I don't really have any comparisons to Halo 5, so I'll keep it pretty brief. If the Crucible is being reworked to be more competitive, then it would make sense to have some sort of ranked play, right? Apparently not. Unless something changes, Destiny 2 will not have ranked play at launch. Personally, I don't have too big of an issue with that, but I know that more competitive PvP players have been dying to get a ranked play mode into Destiny. The lack of ranked play in D2 frankly baffles me, because if Bungie is willing to make other changes for the sake of a more competitive Crucible, such as the new kinetic energy and power weapon system, and the change for all game modes to be 4v4, then I don't understand why they wouldn't continue the trend and add in ranked play. Moving on, let's talk about Destiny 2's lack of private matches. In Destiny 1, of course, private matches were absent for the game for 2 whole years until they were finally added in with Rise of Iron. So, if they are already in Destiny 1, then why not just pull them forward into Destiny 2? Since their introduction, private matches have become an important part of Destiny. One of my favorite things to do in Destiny right now is queue up a private match to 1v1 a friend. Private matches are also useful to test out new guns, practice on different maps, and play competitive games with and against your friends. Not having this feature in Destiny 2 on launch is definitely a detriment. Looking back at Halo 5, we have several notorious instances with which we can compare Destiny 2's lack of private matches. Off the top of my head, I can name several game modes that were in previous Halo games but not in Halo 5 at launch. Infection, Griffball, King of the Hill, Assault, Race, and Big Team Battle, just to name a few. Now, these modes were of course patched in later on in Halo 5's lifespan, but it was unacceptable to have such core modes as King of the Hill absent from Halo 5 at launch. This also links back to how Destiny 2 doesn't have Rumble, but the fact that Rumble isn't in the game appears to be more for balance reasons. We can only hope that private matches are patched into D2 later down the road. Now, let's talk about Destiny 2's story. In an interview with PC Gamer, link in the description, Luke Smith, game director for Destiny 2, said, "Personally, I think of Destiny 1 as sort of an issue 0 in a comic book series. So, Destiny 2 will serve as a reboot for Destiny's story in a way. Some fans may be happy with this, but for those who have delved into the Grimoire, they know that Destiny has a very deep and very rich lore which has so many opportunities to be explored. Going back to Halo 4, its story delved deeper into the Halo lore than any other Halo game, and many fans were not happy. A lot of this can be attributed to storytelling issues, because the lore used in Halo 4's story was not explained as well as it could have been, meaning that Halo fans who didn't know much of the lore were lost during Halo 4's story. Also, many fans reacted negatively to the death of Cortana. So, Halo 5 responded to this fan feedback accordingly. The story set up for the Reclaimer saga was heavily changed, with Cortana coming back to life and more focus being put on her as the main villain, rather than focusing on the Forerunners. I think Destiny 2 is also taking this path in some ways. The story is being heavily changed after fans didn't like the story from Destiny 1. Bungie heard the cries of, "This story sucks, give us a good story," but the story itself was not the issue. The storytelling in Destiny 1 was the issue. It does appear that Bungie is addressing the issue of poor storytelling with Destiny 2, which is more than I can say for Halo 5, but the story is also being changed. On a bit of a side note, according to Luke Smith, the Exo Stranger is being essentially dropped from Destiny's story. Why? If she had no character development in Destiny 1, then give her some character development in Destiny 2 rather than just dropping her. In conclusion, Destiny 2 does appear to be making some of the same mistakes as Halo 5. Important features from Destiny 1 such as Rumble and private matches aren't being carried forward into Destiny 2, and the story is being drastically reworked. However, from what we've seen so far, Destiny 2's mistakes don't seem to be quite as big as Halo 5's. Halo 5 was missing many game modes at launch, whereas we only know of one game mode, 2 if you count private matches, being missing from D2 at launch. Even though Destiny 2 seems to be taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, I am still very excited for the game. I'll wait till the game launches to fully pass judgment on it. So, is Destiny 2 the next Halo 5? In my opinion, even though Destiny 2 is making some of the same mistakes, no. Feel free to let me know your opinions in the comments section. This is the Douglas27 signing off.